So it's
Wow,
both looking
I love
at
that.
inside and outside and working on both of these to co-create the future that we know is possible.
Absolutely. And, the other thing I want to add to that is that we are moving out of a habit. So often the outer world is stimulating us to just leave it alone, to be complacent, to not rock the boat. And so it initially, when we begin to do this, it takes a little courage, a little bit of energy to break the habit of not looking, of not sharing.
But we're afraid of looking. And this is the point that I think is important that we're making right here, and that Fred is bringing up in his Brighter Future paper, is that you should not be afraid to look. If you bury your head in the sand, if you sit in your living room and say, not in my living room, then all you're doing is adding to those manipulative energies. You're adding to the fear. You're adding to the denial. By looking at it in context, you actually help diminish it. I mean, there was, you're probably familiar with this, Fred. Just recently, there was a study that was released. I grabbed this at the Huffington Post that talked about that polarity especially in the United States, is at a record high, that it's never been stronger than it is now, that this sense of the polars. And the blessing of that is that when any pendulum swings too far, it will find the balance again.
Yes, and I'd say actually, even though polarity may be at a high, I would say also that interconnectedness is also at an all-time high.
Agreed.
You look at what you guys are doing and what I'm doing and so many others that I'm in contact and I'm sure you're in contact with, we are creating this web of interconnectedness that is more powerful probably than anything that's been around in a long, long time. So both are going on at the same time.
We know that it's more powerful because the government wants to start controlling the web.
Right. Well, they've always wanted to do that.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Well, speaking of interconnectedness, we do have some other callers standing by.
Let's bring in some of these beautiful people that have been so patient.
I understand Kimberly is waiting for us, so let's go.
Wonderful. Welcome back, Kimberly.
Hello?
Hi, sweetheart. We can hear you.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi, honey. Welcome. How can we serve you today?
Hey. I just wondered if you had anything that you could shed some light on.
Yeah.
I've had a really dark years of the soul.
Yeah. Angel, I want you to just bring your hands to your heart, because the minute you started talking, I connected with you, and Archangel Zadkiel came in all around you. And as your hands are connected to your heart, allow your breath to be easy. And it's so funny because Zadkiel's enveloping you. It's like I'm seeing this huge violet energy just come in all the way around you, but there's this blue, this beautiful, beautiful bright blue energy that's coming right in through your crown chakra. And the two are very much melting as one right now. And what they're saying is for you to remember that you are not alone, that the two are one is your soul and your physical expression, and that this connection right now is the single most important piece of your focus. I see that you're focusing on a lot of different things right now, and they're causing a lot of challenge in your life. And what's most important for you right now is to just remain in the divine centered presence that you are not alone, you are being guided, and Angel, you are receiving a ton of information. I really encourage you to do some good old-fashioned spontaneous writing. Bring a pen, not a computer. Take a pen and a piece of paper, quiet time, and just start. Just start at the top of a page that just says, what I know is, and keep going. And as you do that, you're going to strengthen this connection of the two are one. And the last thing I want to share with you is this, because Zadkiel just did a big, bright, luminescent 17 in front of you. It is no accident you connected with us today. Absolutely none. The power of 17, that 17 conscious breaths, put 17 little beads on a string. I don't care. Just give yourself that gift of connection and allow this spontaneous writing to come through. And this is going to move out. This is going to become very, very easy, very, very quickly. And for you right now, it's all about twos. They're telling me 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. So just let it be easy. And remember that you are not alone. And your intuition is better than you're giving yourself credit for. So it's time to trust you more. So I'm so glad you called today, Angel. Take a breath and relax and smile, because when we smile, when we breathe, we send a signal to the universe that indeed we are ready to receive, and you are ready. Thank you, my angel. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Bless you.
You're so welcome,
Many blessings,
Angel.
Dear. It's so important to remember that in the breath is the connection.
Yes, indeed. And that when we smile, so often when we breathe, the universe wants us to be lighthearted. We're not here for it to be so hard. We're not here for it to be so difficult, my loves. And when we take in that deep conscious breath and we exhale and we allow ourselves to smile, whether it's that radiant inner smile, whether it's that external smile, you send a signal to the universe that says, I am here. I am ready. I am open, and everything comes forward. And Shri, I love today's show because everything is really coming forward. And I also want to jump back to Fred and talk a little bit about Peers, because he has these 2 websites.
Fred, why don't you share with our listeners the difference between the 2 sites and the mission?
Sure. Well, basically, Peers is the umbrella website for actually about a dozen websites that I manage, and I was the main creator of, and they're all about love and transformation. Basically, when wantto-know.info went up, I knew it had to be balanced with love. And so the main website that Balance Wants to Know is called weboflove.org, which is all about teaching people to breathe love, to breathe in sacred love, and has some powerful exercises there. And so basically, as the websites became popular, we had some people contact us and say, hey, we'd like to give you donations, and if you can get nonprofit status, we'll give you even more. So we got 501c3 nonprofit status and set up Peers as the umbrella, which covers all of these wonderful websites, including 4 very powerful, transformative online courses, which are all offered free. And I think your listeners would probably be most interested in the transformation course, which you can find at transformationteam.net.
Team.net. And I want to remind all of our listeners, if you're at ShriandCareRadio.com right now, you'll see that we already have all the links up for you to get a hold of Peers. Just click on that. Those are live banners, and you can get right in there and start looking at these amazing things. Fred has dedicated his life to getting this information out there, and this is such wonderful, rich information that it's important to pay attention.
And it brings up a question that I'd like to run by you. One of the things that people have said to me when I'm working with them, especially I'm thinking of a client who's really hooked by all of the fear, meaning the chemtrails, the pharmaceutical monopoly, etc. And everywhere she looked, she saw another reason to feel like she'd lost all her freedom, that the world was closing in on her. And so my question to discuss is, how do we avoid information overload? How do we sift all of this data that's constantly at our doorstep?
Well, this is a great question, Sri. And I imagine you know the answer, but you'd like to hear it from me too. And that is,
of course.
It's where do we focus our attention? It's like we're always offered the opportunity to go look at how dark and basically evil we can become. And you can go down that rabbit hole and get totally lost. And it's true, it's real. But you can also go down this other place that's full of light and love. And the power happens when we're willing to intertwine the two and accept that both are a part of this grand game of existence, and that there's a greater picture and a greater reason for everything. So the key is to hold that there is a greater reason. And anybody who wants the most powerful book that'll help them get that in a big way, there's a book called Journey of Souls by Michael Newton, which talks about what happens to us between lives. And it really helps put everything in a greater perspective, because as soon as you die, everything looks different. Your emotions.
Well, we're smiling because you might not be aware of the fact that in 1989 I died of cancer, and for sure it is absolutely one of the. For me, it was literally what dying saved my life, and I agree with you. It's a wonderful gift to give.
And the other thing I want to underscore something you said to make sure everyone takes this in. When we can intertwine the two, we essentially are walking the walk of the master. It's real important that we do not turn our gaze away from what is presented, yet on the other hand, we don't need to drown in it. We don't need to jump in and let it consume us. And speaking of jumping in, we still have more callers.
I know, these beautiful people who are just holding and being so patient.
So let's go to line 3 and say hi to Alice from Palo Alto.
Namaste, Alice. Welcome to Sri and Care Live.
Namaste. How are you?
We are delighted to say hi to you, Angel. How can we serve you today?
I would really appreciate some guidance I have been experiencing a full-blown clairvoyant awakening. It's been coming in waves, all of the hearing, the seeing, the smelling, the feeling, everything. And so the question I have is, how do I move through these waves of experience with grace, kind of reassuring my body and stabilizing myself as these waves happen and open?
Okay. Well, first of all, my angel, congratulations for allowing this gift to come forward for you, because your energy field has cried out for this. And because of your love and your tenacity, the universe is saying you are ready. And so one of the things that you can do, well, there's actually two things that they're sharing with me that you need to do. The first one is water. Water, water, water. Drink a lot more water. I know you're probably already drinking a lot. I want you to feel like you're just being flooded with water. The other thing is getting into water, whether it's the ocean, whether it's a pool, whether it's a pedicure, whether it's a tub, even when you're in the shower. It's about allowing water to become your best friend, because as you do, you're also sending this symbol of cleansing. And part of that process is making sure that you're keeping your body right now at the highest frequency level that you can. And so you need to be very, very, very clear about what you're eating, what you're ingesting, and how you're ingesting it. Light is more for you. And so every food, is it organic? Are you making sure that everything is serving you? Lots of green, because as you are light, you are enlightened. And then the other thing they're saying for you right now is singing. When this comes in, there is a whole series of harmonies and tones around you. It's actually hard for me to be speaking right now because my ears are ringing, ringing, ringing with these tones, and I'm actually hearing these harmonies that sound like songs. And so they're saying that when these waves come in, literally move your energy through tone. And that the more that you do that, you will balance your frequency. You're in the middle of still needing to balance your frequency. Your frequency is there, but it needs to be more balanced for this to become a gentle wave. And then Zodkiel is just laughing and laughing in the background, Archangel Zodkiel, and saying, and remember, as long as you feel refreshed, as long as you feel restored, and as long as you feel uplifted, it is from the highest, and all is well. Have no fear as you navigate this moment, my love, and allow yourself the gift of dancing with your divinity. And so it is. And I'm so grateful you called today, Alice. Congratulations, Angel. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sweetheart.
And yeah, thank you, Alice. The one thing I want to just add in is that when you're, this clairvoyant experience coming forward, it's a signal that, in my experience of this, is what some people would call a Kundalini awakening, that all of the chakras were opening and wild and wonderful energies. And it's certainly fun to explore all the possible energies, whether it's sex or love or singing or clairvoyance. However, the thing I want to add is you need to keep lifting it up.
Yeah.
Because ultimately it comes to being on the steps of the temple in service to the divine.
Absolutely.
And there is the greatest joy. So let it flow upward.
I'm loving it. Shri, let's sneak in one more caller before we return.
Yeah. We're going to go to line 4 and say hi to Robert from Los Angeles.
Namaste, Robert. Welcome. How can we serve you?
Well, thank you. Yeah. Very excellent show today. I'm enjoying it much.
Thank you.
Just would be interested in a little mini reading, perhaps, today.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you calling in, and I appreciate you asking. One of the things I want to share with you is, as I was listening to your voice right now, I was feeling, I don't want to call it a tension, but I was feeling a heaviness that's it's Shri, where am I here? I'm like kind of on the upper chest.
Yeah, right in the area where a little grief might be holding.
Yeah, and I'm feeling this, and it kind of starts, if you take your finger, I want you to look at your hands, if it's safe to do so, and if not, just imagine doing this, but I want you to look at your hands right now and kind of wiggle your fingertips, and as you do, I want you to take those fingertips and place them very, very gently. I've got them like right under the neck, on both sides of, am I describing this well, Shri?
The sternum, right under the collarbone, right near the breastplate.
And I'm doing this with you, Angel, and I want you to just kind of move that energy, and as you do that, I want you to feel, sense, or imagine these beautiful rays of golden light coming through your fingers, going right through your body and right out the back of your heart, and freeing you. Because the reason that I'm inviting you to do that is you have around you a beautiful trinity of it looks to me to be like almost Mary energy, but it's like a Mother Mary, it's like a Mary Magdalene, and like a Kuan Yin. And it's this beautiful circular trinity of these feminine energies that are inviting you to be free. And they just keep whispering to you saying, you are ready to be free. You are free. You are only stuck in the illusion that you are not free. And that this connection with this upper heart, or this kind of like, it's not fifth and it's not fourth chakra. It's like that high heart, this connection with this high heart, this clearing. They're literally pouring this energy through you that gets activated in the fingertips, that comes through this connection, that goes through the back of the heart, that frees you. And they're saying, put your burden down and remember that you know how to fly, for it is your time and the world of form can no longer stop you. They're also saying that the world has finally been ready for you, my love, and they're congratulating you for waiting until the world was ready. And so just feel our heart around you and feel my arms around you right now, because I'm really grateful you called today, because this is your day. You can very easily be free from in this moment and let that gift continue. And so thank you, Angel. Many blessings. Namaste.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, sweetheart.
Many blessings indeed. And remember, for all of us, that it is our time. This time is your time.
Indeed. And we are, can we rise through this time collectively? Are we ready to live with the consequences of our choices? Is humanity manifesting? What are we going to be doing? The gift of today's show, there's so many gifts of today's show, and I want to invite Fred to join us on this conversation, is that we are all being given, we are loved so much that the universe is giving us the opportunity to remember, reawaken, and move forward. Fred, what's your take on this time in collective humanity?
Well, I would just add that a really powerful thought that's helped me is to remember that we live in infinity, that there's no rush to get anywhere, that infinity is always here right now, and it's all about this moment. And to get so focused on, what's going to happen in the world, what's going to happen in my life, if I do that, I miss out on what's right here in front of me, on the beautiful connection I have with the two of you and our listeners right now, and all the great things happening in my life. So really, where do we focus our energy? And when we bring it back to the present, that's where the most magic potential is, in my experience.
Absolutely. I'm hugging you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is a wonderful thing to remember that sometimes all the noise in the outer world is a call to go inward.
Absolutely.
And other times the noise is a call to dance.
Yeah, and I like the dancing part.
I love dancing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, beloved listeners, as we're coming to a close for today, I want to remind you to visit a couple of the websites that our beloved guest has shared with us. We're talking about Peers Network, wanttoknow.info, and Fred, what was the other one that you mentioned?
Transformationteam.net.
That's
it. Transformationteam.net. And remember, guys, if you're right there at ShriandCareRadio.com, just click on Peers. It's right there. It's easy. And that's the hub that'll get you everywhere. Is that right, Fred?
Yes, that's correct. It'll show all of our websites.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm encouraging everybody, go there today. Go there now, because there's so much rich information there that you're going to go back a lot.
Well, the one thing, and this is how I bumped into Fred and his work, is I was doing some searching on some topics.
Yeah.
And the one thing I appreciated about your presentation of the information is you did not add fuel to the fire. You
Right.
basically said, here are the facts. And then in between the lines, there is the encouragement to recognize this is but one twinkle on the disco ball of our reality.
Oh, my God, Sri.
Yes.
And
just know that we all come from the same divine source, and that divine source wants to explore itself through us, and we have choice in how we embrace that and manifest that through our lives.
Indeed, indeed. And I'm dancing with you through that right now. And believe it or not, this show always goes so fast. So, Fred, that was such a beautiful way to finish. But if you had just about a moment to share anything with our listeners, to leave them with today, what would you like to share?
Just to remember that we are all interconnected, and any of us can open up to feeling that interconnectedness if you just drop in. And when you feel that interconnectedness, love begins to flow and magic happens.
I love that.
Magic is afoot.
I love flows and magic happens. And beloved listeners, magic happens every week when we have the gift of being with you right here at Shri and Kira Live. And stay with us next week. We have been in a full month of healing our planet, healing ourselves. Next week, our guest is Dr. Joe Vitale from The Secret. And I'm sure you'll all enjoy tuning in as we have a lot more to share.
You know, life keeps happening, and we hope that you keep a smile on your face. And if not, why not?
Yeah.
And beloved listeners, until we have the joy of being with you again next week, may you know that all is truly well. Namaste.
Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out more information at shriandkira.com. See you next week. Namaste.